October 31st, 2025, 5:30 p.m. Travis Kelce stepped through the front door of his Kansas City home after a long Friday practice, still in his Chiefs workout gear, duffel bag slung over his shoulder. The smell of autumn and faint candlelight greeted him, and he paused for a moment, letting the quiet of home wash over him. Taylor Swift was in the kitchen, jeans and an oversized sweater framing her small frame, carefully arranging candy into bowls for the trick-or-treaters they expected later that evening. She had spent hours earlier decorating their front porch, carved pumpkins, fall flowers, and twinkling orange lights, wanting their first Halloween together in Kansas City to feel special and memorable. "Travis, can you believe we bought 12 bags of candy?" Taylor called, hearing him drop his duffel. "I think the whole neighborhood is going to show up." "That's the plan, babe," Travis said, walking into the kitchen and wrapping his arms around her from behind. "We're the house with full-size candy bars. We're about to become legends on this street." Taylor laughed, leaning back into his embrace. She cherished these quiet domestic moments, far removed from stadium lights and sold-out arenas. Just two people building a home together. This Halloween felt like a rare gift, a holiday free from travel and obligations, dedicated entirely to each other. Before she could respond, Travis's phone buzzed. The caller ID read Wyatt. He smiled and answered. "Hey, princess. What's up? Uncle Travis." 6-year-old Wyatt's voice was lively yet urgent. "I have a really important question." "Okay, shoot. What's your question?" Wyatt paused, and Travis imagined her standing at home, likely already in costume. "Uncle Travis, is Aunt Taylor a real witch?" Travis froze, and Taylor, arranging candy, looked up sharply. "Did she just ask if I'm a witch?" she whispered, half laughing, half mortified. "Well, why would you think that?" Travis asked, stifling a laugh. Wyatt's reasoning came with the earnest logic only a 6-year-old could muster. "Elliot and I went trick-or-treating to Mrs. Henderson's house, and she was dressed like you, Aunt Taylor." I said, "That's my Aunt Taylor's costume." And she said, "Maybe Taylor Swift really is magical because she cast a spell on your uncle to make him fall in love with her." Taylor's hand flew to her mouth. Travis chuckled softly, shaking his head at the absurdity. Wyatt continued, her excitement growing. "Elliot said, 'You always know what we're thinking. That's probably magic.' And Bennett said, 'You must have magic powers because you make everyone cry when you sing.' And I thought, maybe they're right, because you made Uncle Travis happy all the time, even when the Chiefs lose. He wasn't like that before." Taylor moved closer to the phone, eyes glistening. Travis watched her and felt the same warmth reflected in her expression. "Wyatt," Travis said gently, "can I tell you something important?" "Yes. Aunt Taylor isn't a witch, but you're right about one thing. She changed me, not with magic, but because she's kind, funny, and loves the people she cares about. That's not a spell. That's just who she is." Wyatt was thoughtful. "But how come everyone's always happy around her?" "Because happiness isn't magic, princess. It's just what happens when someone really good comes into your life." "Can I talk to her?" Wyatt asked. Travis handed the phone to Taylor, who smiled nervously but picked it up. "Hi, Wyatt," Taylor said softly, sitting on a bar stool, cradling her composure. "Are you really not a witch?" Wyatt asked, small and uncertain. "I promise I'm not," Taylor said warmly. "But I understand why you might wonder. Sometimes when we love someone very much, it feels like magic, doesn't it?" "I guess so," Wyatt admitted. "But Mrs. Henderson said, you must have done something special to make Uncle Travis love you, because he's famous and you're famous. Famous people don't usually really love each other. They just pretend for pictures." Taylor's throat tightened at the insight of a 6-year-old's observation, both shattering and beautiful. "Wyatt, can I tell you a secret?" she asked. "Yes. The way I made Uncle Travis love me wasn't with spells or magic. I just showed him who I really am, the messy parts, the silly parts, the parts that worry and make mistakes. And you know the really magical thing?" "What?" Wyatt whispered. "He loved all those parts, even the messy ones. That's what real love is. It's about finding someone who sees all of you and chooses to stay." There was a pause. Then Wyatt said, "Aunt Taylor, I think you do have one magic power. What's that, sweetie? You make people feel safe to be messy. That's why Uncle Travis smiles all the time, because he doesn't have to be perfect anymore. Taylor's eyes welled up. Travis, watching, felt his own heart tighten. How could a child articulate such profound truth about their relationship? You know what, Wyatt? Taylor said, voice thick with emotion. That might be the most beautiful thing anyone's ever said to me. Thank you. You're welcome, Wyatt said cheerfully, her serious tone dissipating. Daddy says we have to leave in 5 minutes if we want to hit all the good houses before they run out of candy. But can you and Uncle Travis come to Philadelphia tomorrow? We're having a big Halloween party. Mommy made spider cupcakes, Daddy's bobbing for apples, and it would be way more fun if you were here. Taylor looked at Travis. He was already nodding. They both knew they'd do anything for Wyatt. You know what, Wyatt? We can make that happen, Taylor said. Really? Oh my gosh. This is the best Halloween ever. Jason's voice appeared from the background, slightly apologetic. Taylor, hey, I'm sorry about that. Wyatt's been obsessed with the witch thing ever since she saw someone dressed as you. Don't apologize, Taylor laughed through tears. She's perfect, and we're coming tomorrow. I hope Kylie made enough spider cupcakes. Jason chuckled. You're really flying here for a kid's Halloween party. Of course we are, Taylor said. Simply, we're family. The next morning, Taylor and Travis boarded Travis's private jet at 9 a.m., landing in Philadelphia by 12:30 p.m. local. Jason had texted them an address for a costume shop. Apparently, one couldn't attend a Halloween party uncostumed. I can't believe we're doing this, Travis said as they walked among racks of polyester and plastic masks. I can, Taylor replied, holding up a princess costume. Wyatt asked us to. When that little girl asked for something, we turn into pushovers. Travis laughed, holding up a Superman outfit. Too obvious? No, Taylor said, grinning. Perfect. And I'm going as a princess, so Wyatt knows princesses exist, not just witches. By 3 p.m., they arrived at Jason and Kylie's house, in full costume. Travis added a cape to his Superman outfit. Taylor wore a silver princess gown from the clearance section. As the door opened, chaos greeted them. Screams, music, and Jason's voice trying to maintain order. Wyatt, dressed as a green-faced witch with a crooked hat and plastic broomstick, froze at the sight of Taylor. Then, her face lit up. You came, and you're a princess. Wyatt threw her arms around Taylor's waist. We match kinda. Witches and princesses are best friends. Taylor knelt, adjusting Wyatt's hat. Absolutely. Princesses need someone brave enough to ask hard questions, and witches are great at that. Wyatt nodded solemnly, then dragged them into the Halloween chaos. Elliot, dressed as a butterfly, ran up to Travis and Taylor. Bennett, the tiny lion, toddled to Taylor and reached for her crown. Kylie appeared, cat costume on, carrying 7-month-old Finley dressed as a pumpkin. Taylor held Finley, who smiled broadly at her, a moment Jason noted with unmistakable affection. This is what love looks like, he said quietly. The party was a whirlwind of bobbing for apples, spider cupcakes, costume contests, crafts, and orange punch. Travis let the kids win, laughing at every stumble. Taylor helped Wyatt and Elliot make paper bats, capturing photos of every moment. Later, as the room quieted, Taylor held Finley on the couch. Wyatt climbed up, still in her witch hat, tired but thoughtful. Aunt Taylor, Wyatt said softly, I'm glad you're not a real witch. Taylor smiled. Me too, but I'm glad I have some kind of magic, because that magic brought me to your family. And your family is the best thing that ever happened to me, besides Uncle Travis. Wyatt's eyes widened. Is that why you came all the way here? Just because I asked? That's exactly why, Taylor said. When someone you love asks you to show up, you show up. Even if it's messy, complicated, or inconvenient. From across the room, Jason whispered to Travis, I've seen a lot of people come and go, but I've never seen anyone fit in like Taylor. She was always supposed to be here. Travis nodded. Don't let her go, Jason said. I won't, Travis promised. As the afternoon faded into evening, Kylie organized a family photo. Taylor assumed she'd step aside, But Wyatt grabbed her hand. No, Aunt Taylor. You're in the picture. Your family. They posed together. Jason, Kylie, Wyatt, Elliot, Bennett, Finley, Travis, and Taylor. Wyatt whispered, "This is my favorite Halloween ever. Not because of candy or costumes, but because Aunt Taylor showed up when I asked her to. That's what family does." Later, on the flight back to Kansas City, Taylor looked at Travis. "Thank you for dropping everything to fly to Philadelphia for a kid's Halloween party," she said. Travis interlaced his fingers with hers. "Those kids aren't just my nieces. They're our family. Family always shows up." Taylor smiled. "Even when it's messy." "Especially when it's messy," Travis corrected. That night, exhausted, Taylor received a photo from Kylie. Finley in her arms, Wyatt snuggled beside her, smiling. Caption: "This is what love looks like. Thank you for showing up. Your family forever." Taylor turned to Travis. "Wyatt taught me something today. The real magic in life isn't spells. It's showing up, being present, loving people through their messy, beautiful lives." Travis kissed her temple. "You've always had that magic. Long before Wyatt called you a witch, you've been showing up for the people who matter." Taylor met his gaze. "And you taught me that being loved doesn't mean being perfect. It means being accepted for who you are, messy parts and all." They stood there, kitchen still sprinkled with traces of Halloween. Makeup, confetti, and crumbs of spider cupcakes. Both knowing that sometimes the most magical love stories aren't on stages or in stadiums, but in living rooms, showing up for the people who matter most.